Hey y'all, so I picked up a used bumper today. Well, not today, I picked it up a little while ago from Affordable Off-Road. It was something they went off for a customer, and I don't know how long they ran it, but it's got a bunch of surface rust and it needs a little bit of love. I'm not 100% happy with it, so we're going to take their bumper, we're going to tweak it a little bit to fit Project Gus Gus, to fit our needs. Planning some 7-inch LEDs on top, some 3-inch amber pods. If I can find them in a round LED light, I will. Nightlight and Ox Beam are two that come to mind that make really good lights that are fairly affordable. So we might be doing that. I'm going to show you guys the bumper. I'm going to show you guys what we're going to do to tweak it. A couple hiccups I've seen that I'm not happy with. So a buddy of mine, Tim Underwood, you guys saw him in one of the Off-Road Explorer videos that we did. Gus Gus's first outing. He's going to weld some braces and some extra material in there for me. Let me show you this bumper and we'll go from there. So here's the front winch bumper from Affordable Off-Road for the XJ. They built this for a customer and I think it looks pretty sick. It fits exactly like my style. Originally I didn't know what I was going to do with these tabs. It's for a 17-inch light bar, and at least that's what I measured. It's kind of an oddball size, and trying to find something that mounts on the end exactly like what it requires is proving to be a little bit of a pain in the butt. So I plan on putting some 3-inch square cube lights, amber lights here, and either that or some 3-inch rounds, depending on what I decide. So far, the Jeep has round lights all over it, kind of like the old school flare with the new school lighting style. You guys can see I've got marker here. There's some angle here, and there are tabs here, and a tab over here. I've tried to remove the bolts, and they are seized, so we're going to just cut this. We're just going to get this plate out of the way. That way Tim can get in here and do his welding. And once the plate is gone, we're going to clean up all the tabs and leave this open. We're going to leave the center skid plate while the rest of this stays as is. So we're going to do the same thing on this side. And that's because behind here where the frame tie-ins are, I want to add some bracing and some gussets to try to strengthen it a little bit further. So let me get to cutting and I'll show you what I'm doing. So you guys can see I'll ground the heads off. And then on this one, over here in the corner, did the same thing. We're going to flip the bumper over, and there's some tabs here. And we're going to cut the tabs across, and this piece of metal is going to come off. Now if you look, this side's already done. So we're cutting the tabs off. And I know this isn't clean just yet, but we're going to grind all this smooth, including these tabs here. And then I'm going to come in and cut along here, grind this smooth so that piece is gone. And we're going to cut this. I haven't figured out how I'm cutting this yet. We're going to put a piece of metal here so this looks almost square to match this. And that's the game plan. So let me flip this bumper over and I'll show you guys where I'm cutting the tabs at on that side so you guys can see exactly what I did on this side. You guys can see I already cut that bolt down. They're almost 1.5 inches long. And then I'm cutting that tab, and I'm going to cut this tab here. And then that aluminum plate should pop off. And then we'll start prepping. And you guys can see there's tabs up here. And I'll mock those plates up just to show you guys how they sit, because I'm going to keep those so I can mount some lights. I have some 7-inch LED round lights. Now that we have both sides cleared and open, we are going to mock and prep to put gussets here, here, and in here. I might have to notch it so Tim can get in here and at least weld it. I'm going to make the gussets. Well, I have them prefabbed. I'm going to grind them so they'll fit over the existing welds here. Then we're going to hit this with a flat disc, get this all cleaned up, and then we'll see about bending some flat stock. Sorry guys, I was thinking some flat stock to fit in here. Kind of go from here over and down. So at least from the front it looks complete. That's the game plan. Okay, so here's what I'm doing. I've got these labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You guys can see where it was previously welded on each occasion or each spot. Now, the reason I numbered these is because they all coexist with a prefab gusset that's been ground to fit that spot. This should make Tim's job a little easier, I hope. We're gonna have to notch here and notch here so he can get his welder in there and I can get the flap disc in there. And then debating if I want to try to cut this along here or if I just want to try to bend something to fit, or just cut a piece straight through to fit here. Haven't figured out how I would cut that yet. Maybe I can get in there with a Dremel and just do a little zip through. I'll dry run that before I try recording it because I don't want to mess it up. So that's where we're at right now. I've got to notch this section here and notch this section here, and then it'll be ready to strip paint. So we cut the frame tie-ins down at an angle so they go from here to here. We cut the L bracket, the angle off of here, and same on this side. Now what I want to do is come back with a piece of flat stock and just straighten it here, and we'll weld it all, have Tim weld it all together, and that'll make it look cleaner from the front point of view, and it'll tie the frame tie-ins to the shackle mounts and down to the main tube a little further, along with the gussets we're going to put behind it. That'll make it plenty strong. And we'll come in here, and like I said, we're going to cut all this crap off later, grind it down. Same thing here. Try to get this as clean as we can. So that's where we're at now. I don't have to worry about taking the skid plate off. The rest of this video, you guys will see Tim do some welding on this. You guys will get to see me strip it, paint it like the rest of the bumpers, and then we're going to put a Smittybilt 9500 on this and put it on the front of Gus Gus. Probably going to be two-part video. Probably going to do the fab work, cleanup work, all as one video, and the mount install is separate. We'll see. You guys can see where I cut the frame tie-in brackets here so they match the angle. Cut this off so Tim can get his welder in here. We'll clean up all the tubing later on. And then we did the same thing over here. We're going to take a piece of flat stock and just go straight down, and then have Tim weld it and kind of box it from 3 sides to make it look cleaner from the front. And then we'll come in here and we'll grind all these tabs down in here, and then take this plate off. We're going to get some shorter bolts because they put some like 1.5 inch long bolts here. So this is the initial modification to the used affordable off-road bumper. And then we're going to hit this with a flap disc here in a few minutes. When taking off stuck Allen bolts, like in the case of this skid plate, I want to keep this center skid plate. The aluminum looks good. I like the fact that this part will still offer radiator protection, etc. Here's a tech tip. When taking off stuck Allen bolts, if you can't hold an Allen wrench, you can tap it in with a ball peen or just some small hammer. Don't beat on it. Get it in there nice and tight. Put a vice grip on the Allen, and then use your wrench on the inside to break it free. You guys can see the rusty bolt right there. There's some light on it. Now my reason for doing this is I want to save this piece. I want to clean this all up. I want to paint this bumper to match the rear. We're going to keep these tabs, as I said earlier in the video. We're all doing this prep so that way when Tim gets in here and wants to weld, all this stuff is done. But I figured while I'm taking things apart, I might as well try to get this plate off and try to save it. So, all these bolts came out fairly straightforward. And I'm going to be getting shorter bolts because I do not like the fact that these things are 1.5 inches, 2 inches long. So let me get back to this, and I'll show you guys what's underneath the skid plate. So we have the metal stripped where we're going to be welding. And this is my idea. I want to take these and weld them in like this, just to kind of give it a complete look. Sorry guys, just like that. Weld it top, bottom, and on the sides, and that'll make it look complete. I mean, from the side, obviously you'll see it's not, but from the front, it'll be just kind of give it a cosmetic look. Maybe add a little bit more rigidity along with the gussets. So that's what I'm thinking. Well, we're loaded up. Bumper's in the back of Gus Gus. We bring in some extra pieces of metal just in case we need it. I've got all the tabs, grinding wheels, cutoff wheels, a few extra things if we need it, a couple grinders. Bring my tools so that way I don't have to use his if he needs help. I could just jump in and grind and cut metal if we need to. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I got everything laid out how it should go. So let's get on the road and figure out what we need to do. Over at Tim's place, he's going to lay down these gussets for me.
Not too bad.
Got him laying down some welds. You guys have already seen him earlier in this video doing it, but I thought I would just try to get these pretty pieces put on there, kind of make it look a little better. So there's some big old gap underneath those recovery points.
Should help a lot. Flathead spray.
No, you're good.
Across the bottom now, and then I'll do the side. Now I'm going down the side.
Hide on this side of you. Yeah, I'm trying to get through the spring clamp so that way you're protecting my phone. Y'all can see where we put the gusset here. There's another one back in here. We kind of just covered it with like just a plate to make it look a little prettier. And then we did the same thing on this side here. So this should clean it up, make it look a little better. When I get it home, we'll strip it all down. I don't even know if we're going to grind this smooth. I'm feeling lazy. We're probably just going to clean it up and then prime it all. Get this thing to match the rear bumper. So, big shout out to Tim. Appreciate his help. Hey y'all, so you saw how I decided to modify the bumper I bought. We added some strength, added a little bit of cosmetics to it so it looks a little better from the front. Big thank you to Tim for getting me in and welding that up for me. It really helps to have some good friends who have your back, who are willing to help you out, especially when you're trying to do things on a budget. The next step is going to be stripping the bumper of its paint, of the old tabs. We're going to grind those down, and we're going to paint it to match the rear bumper. We're going to do it a matte gray. That way we have some contrast. And I'm going to clean up the aluminum skid plate, and then we'll get on the truck. We got a Smitty built 9500 winch that's going to go on it too. So thanks for watching. God bless. Y'all have a great day.